show that never ends. We're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
Hello, one. Hello, all. I feel like a fraud having that weekly word on there, but yeah, it happens during a week that we have shows like this.
Every episode has been during a week.
Welcome to Show Business Matinee Edition. We're a little light, but something big happened for the first time in a very long time that had nothing to do with a sequel. So I am here as always. I am Charles, otherwise known as CP.
And I believe I'm still Lindsay, but I guess it's not a sequel, but it's like a reboot, right? Or like a remake, so it's still not something new per se.
Yeah, perhaps because they did. Not to spoil anything for anybody, but they do kind of allude to the same backstory in Super Mario Brothers that they do in the 1993 John Leguizamo. They're plumbers and
the perfect movie, by the way, just the perfect cinematic experience. The original Mario Brothers movie is.
I mean, the fact that they live in Brooklyn and they have their own company. Like, I don't think we ever had that much in the game itself. But they're plumbers, but it never really gave us that much.
Yeah, the fact that they were plumbers in the game was kind of incidental, and was it justification why they were wearing overalls and why there's pipes everywhere? It was always weird to me.
What's cylindrical that we can kind of cheat it and say that they're around them for a reason? Aaron Anderson, hello. What is? Whoops. Whoa.
Wow. We're dancing.
I fell asleep twice during Mario. My daughter had to wake me up.
Oh
wow. God. All right. Here I am about to sing its praise. Bob says Mario bombed less than $1 billion. That is factually correct. But it did make 146 million over the course of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. John Wick 4 maintained, which is something I think we kind of referenced last week.
Yeah.
That Dungeons and Dragons would drop, but John Wick wouldn't. I mean, and between the new entry Air, which is it's not about Michael Jordan per se. It's about the dude that.
It's about the white guy that made money off of Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Somebody at Nike. But the fact that it looks like it's a Ben Affleck movie where he's trying to do a Big Short type drama.
Okay.
I haven't seen it. From the trailer, it feels so much like the Big Short and something like that type of humor. Something that's based on real things, but a lot of people looking a little wacky. And it's about the invention of the Michael Jordan shoes.
The invention.
They exploited some.
They were hammering away in the lab one night. There was an explosion, and the shoe just hovered in midair, spinning.
Yeah. So the only thing that is kind of there's a big drop off from Dungeons and Dragons to Scream 6, and that's about 10 million and change.
Yeah.
His only son, I don't know what the deal is with that. Creed 3. A lot of these, especially on the bottom, they're maybe not Paint, that just opened. those are available to watch through some form of digital streaming services.
Correct. Yeah, Shazam! Fury of the Gods hit HBO, right?
Yeah. And that is kind of shocking because I think this is the first time we've seen Warner really exploit that 17-day window.
Yeah.
I mean, it's longer than 17 days, but they're just tapping out on that movie. Financially speaking, has been an abortion.
I think, yeah, but like, the
I-
world is very
the
clearly
word means
started.
other things.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm just like, we're getting spicy already. No. And, this doesn't really mean anything, but it's highly amusing to me. There's this 10-minute clip from Shazam! Fury of the Gods on YouTube on the official Warner Brothers page. It has like barely 35,000 views. Just nobody cares about this movie.
How many? See, that always makes me laugh. Like when I go to something official's page and they have like less subscribers than I do, and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You're Madison Square Garden. Why do you have less subscribers than I do?
Well, to be fair, Warner Brothers has 2.89 million. So
Okay. All right.
They're outdoing us. But
there's something like that doesn't make sense then. That whole.
Well, let's put it like this: Batman: The Doom That Came to Gotham. A clip from that went up 3 days ago. It's at 23,000 views.
Even that's still like for 2 million and change. People just aren't watching their stuff. Like what? Why do they have so many subscribers? What the fuck? Oh, is that to dislike bomb shit? Is that what that is?
Probably, yeah,
Stock
probably,
accounts?
yeah. It's 95% Snyder Bros who are just there just to dislike everything.
Oh my god, it's probably it. I want to think that it's not, but that's probably it because the numbers don't make sense. Sean, what's going on? I bought Creed 3 on digital way earlier than I thought it would be out. Yeah, Creed 3. This is post-COVID movies. Yeah, and I mean, again, if anything, Super Mario Brothers 146. Granted, it's not available on digital, but over the course of 5 days, on a week where a lot of kids were home, so that also needs to be a bit of a preface. It brought in 202 million domestic, and that makes it already the highest grossing video game adaptation ever.
Wait a minute.
And counting.
I'm pretty sure Detective Pikachu. No. Yeah, no, it's already there's a lot of hubbub because it's already passed Frozen 2, which I guess is or it's about to pass Frozen 2, which I guess is the current record holder or holds some record for animated movies doing really well. Are
you sure that's the record holder for animated movies doing really well?
No. Okay, that's enough. Highest grossing animated movies. I was also trying to find the best opening weekends post-COVID. I hadn't quite found that yet. So
it's got to be Avatar, right? Avatar or Top Gun is one of those two.
Yeah, but what's in third place? That's what I want to know. All right, sorry, my finger was off screen.
Yeah, because
that's what I want to know.
It cleared this year's strongest opening.
Okay.
Which was The Bomb, otherwise known as Quantum Mania. That movie is just a bomb with its $103 million opening weekend. Just terrible. Just terrible stuff there.
So bad.
Maybe Spider-Man from last year could be the third.
Oh yeah, the amazing crossover movie. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a contender.
Bob, right on target. Yep. Avatar 2, Top Gun 2, and No Way Home.
Thank you, Mr. Bob.
All sequel shit.
Also, hi, Bob.
Yes, hello, Bob.
Also, so I found it. Technically, The Lion King, the remake, is classified as the highest grossing animated film of all time. I love that. At 1.6 billion. And then number 2 is Frozen with 1.4. And then oh, wait, hold on. That's not. Maybe it's just being crazy. I'm just going to ignore the fact that there's no number 2 and it just goes 1, 3, 4. So then third place would be Frozen 1 with just shy of 1.3 billion.
All right. Well, those are animated.
Right.
As far as video game adaptations are concerned, it was Sonic 2, and it didn't really have that big a hurdle to jump. I mean, 200 million in 5 days, and it's already the highest grossing video game adaptation. And the top 2 before Mario were movies that came out in 2022. It was Sonic 2
Mhm.
and the Uncharted film.
It actually did well enough to be ranked high enough.
It did 147 or 148. And again,
Okay.
that's total.
Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
total domestic. And Mario did 146 in 3 days. And then 2 days before that, it had an extra 60 in the bank.
Oh, it was a Wednesday opener, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Easter week. So again, a lot of kids were home, and like some abnormal Wednesday, Thursday numbers. Because when I first saw it, I was like, that's a really strong Friday. And then I was like, oh, that's not even a Friday. That's just, I am so wrong. I have to correct my tweet.
Did you actually go back and correct it, or just a lot of misinformation? Okay, good for you.
Because somebody said it's going to easily make 200 million. And I was like, I don't know about that. But they were right. But, that's 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's just domestic. Worldwide, I think it's north of 3.
Probably it's close to 4 now, isn't it?
Yeah, 377.
Okay, cool.
Worldwide, international. Italy, Australia, rest of the world 157. Thanks, thenumbers.com. Rest of the world made money.
And they're still better than the modern box office mojo. That's terrible these days.
I've tapped out. I've completely tapped out on that one. Did any of you here see Inside with Willem Dafoe? No.
Inside Out, the Pixar movie?
No.
No, I don't.
I'd love to hear him voicing anything in a Pixar movie.
They should swap him out with I love her, but Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec. What's her name? Who was like the happiness character Inside Out. I want to see Willem Dafoe play happiness.
Oh yeah, from SNL, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. She's Tina Fey's like best friend. I can't think
Amy
of her name
Poehler.
right now. Amy Poehler. That's it. Okay. I love how Tina Fey got it.
Yeah, Bob says box office mojo drives me nuts with its random wrong numbers. Yeah, it I don't know what happened, but like over the last, well, maybe COVID, maybe they stopped having employees, and there was a bunch they didn't bring back.
I think it was
they were like
they got like bought out by like IMDb or something like that, and that's when they like started to tank because IMDb wanted to do something on their own side, and I don't know. It doesn't feel like it ever actually happened.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, and the numbers is the thing right now that we check, and there's something else that's going to happen someday eventually. What was interesting is I like the numbers because it's limited, but it does report on streaming stuff, which is fascinating. And the one thing that in the top 20 streamed movies from last week were in the top 20 were the original John Wick and John Wick 3.
Okay.
Which I think is fascinating, and it says something for franchises and sequels and things like that. Because if you're releasing a sequel and it's still relevant at the box office, people are going to, if not buy, they're going to rent the previous films, which is very interesting because Scream 6, none of the previous Screams were in the top 20.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
And John Wick 2 wasn't in the top 20. So I was like, what?
Is John Wick 2 not as beloved as the first and the third one?
I don't know. I actually
people
enjoy.
in the chat tell us which is the worst of the John Wicks. Let's see if it's number 2.
I would say 2.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the mute.
The mute.
I mean,
You anti-mutist.
having Donnie Yen as a blind guy again is. I mean,
Oh yeah.
My little nerdy heart, Star Wars heart exploded when he played a blind person again.
Because he did it in that movie that doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, yeah. The meanwhile over here, while Star Wars 4 was happening, the John Wick movies have been a very fast blur to me. John Wick 3, Zachary Hayes. John Wick 2 might be my favorite.
Oh,
I would say John Wick 2 is the worst of all. All right, so it's the consensus is a mess. Everybody's just got a different opinion.
Well, this is why voting doesn't work, and why we should only let the elites and the rich decide everything.
Oh yeah, and if you don't say what we like, we'll just kick you out. That's all.
Well, kick out if you're lucky. Just kill him. You know, let's just go full fascist based on movie opinion society.
Oh man, can you imagine? Thank God we're just talking about fiction.
Right. Which of the Godfathers is superior?
Oh,
3? Kill him.
Man. Yeah. Silly stuff. I think with every John Wick movie, the story gets a little worse and the action gets a little better. I would agree with that, Bob. My suspension of disbelief meter keeps getting grinded away at with each successive John Wick. Because at the end of 3, it was like, really? We're going to have another one? Okay. It's a hell of a fall.
But do you not want Keanu Reeves to buy another boat? Like, let the man buy another boat, man. Like,
it's fine.
if they're not going to let him do another Constantine movie, just let him keep doing John Wicks until the end of time. Like,
is John Wick Warner? I feel like Warner.
Actually, I don't know. That's a good point.
Because I bet that's why they made another Matrix. They were like, oh, no. No. You still owe us. So Felix says that Godfather is the greatest movie ever.
He can live.
Yeah.
Summit Entertainment? Who owns Summit? Oh, Lionsgate. Oh, okay. So not Warner.
Oh wow, Lionsgate owns Summit, huh? And Summit, they spun off of somebody else too.
Did they? Summit. Is American? It's a label of Lionsgate, owned by Lionsgate headquarters in Santa Monica. Oh, they started in 1991. I didn't know that.
Lionsgate, that I did know. I know Lionsgate was like a.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess the Lionsgate didn't
house.
actually. Right. Okay.
Not a studio. Well, yeah. I don't know. Technically, Blumhouse calls itself a studio, but they ride under that Universal blanket.
They're studio adjacent.
Yeah. We're gonna gamble with your money and call ourselves a studio.
I mean, that's not Spielberg. George Lucas once literally described filmmaking as gambling. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, have you seen that interview? It's not bad, actually.
I thought you were going to say the other thing about Disney.
Oh, well, I mean, there's that too. But this is a PG show for now.
Action series like slashers always go on too long until they stop making money. That's a very fair point, Sean. That's kind of Hollywood. As much as they want you to think that they're socially aware and they do the good thing, they're a capitalist business city. So they're about money first,
Or
Uh,
what's the old axiom? There's no ethical consumption under capitalism or something like that. Like even something that's anti-capitalism that's designed to make money is still capitalist in a way. Like
yeah, yeah. Because there's the award bait that kind of like I don't know that they have like that they know they're not going to make money off of, but
mhm.
that's like for seniors to watch. Like I don't know the dynamics behind why certain studios do stuff that they know won't make money, and I think tax write-offs and they always do their best. They pay very expensive lawyers lots of money to make sure that they report losses.
Right.
So
Well, they rather pay the lawyers than the government. Well, it's also probably cheaper, I guess, like the lawyers and the government. I wonder what that's like for the lawyers too, who know it's cheaper for them to go to them than it is for them to pay the government.
yeah, yeah. So any hoozle,
Mhm.
uh,
You're a hoozle.
Super Mario Brothers
Mhm.
2023 edition animated by Illumination, which
Yes.
gets its fair share of ridicule online. The same animators behind the Despicable Me and Minions and Pets
Sing.
Sing. Yeah,
Mhm.
very very simple, easy on the eyes, not quite Disney Pixar animation, but very colorful, very flatly lit.
Expressive, very, very
Yeah,
much. Yeah.
yeah. But I don't. I won't say how I felt about Super Mario Brothers. Did you end up seeing it?
I did. I felt things about it.
Okay, well you can start and I'll piggyback.
Emotions were had. I saw things that I recognized. There was moments that were good. No, okay, that's enough of that. This is a movie for 4-year-olds, and I say that for like both the good and the bad. And it's also like weird that it's for 4-year-olds because it's such a nostalgia bait for 30-year-olds. So it's like shooting for that like 4-year-old demographic and that 30-year-old demographic, which is I guess interesting, but I liked it for the most part. It's a lot of it's just sound and fury. It will not stop moving for longer than like 30 seconds, but that feeds into the fact that it's for 4-year-olds. They don't want to lose anyone's attention span, which I guess that just kind of goes with the territory. This is there's a lot of movies that Illumination have made that I don't like. I like this more than a lot of them. Like this is better than Despicable Me 2. This is better than Minions. This is better than Sing. I don't know if it's better than the first Despicable Me, but
Yeah, isn't there like 4 of them now? Rise of Gru, or that
I don't
did very
even
well
know.
last year.
I forget that movie exists, and I've seen Despicable Me 3 twice. Actually, I can't tell you a thing about that movie. It's the most forgettable thing ever.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder that about this movie. Like, not a lot of it, because partially because it moves so quickly, a lot of it just kind of goes by in a blur, and it just happens and it's over, and then the movie just moves on. And I think there's a couple of weird moments with that, a couple of disconnects and character beats where they're like, "Oh, we're doing this. Ooh, shiny object. What's that over there? Ooh, shiny object. What's that over there?" And so they kind of keep changing goals. Like, not really a spoiler, but there's a plot point in the early in the movie where the brothers want to help Brooklyn with a big leaking water thingy, and they go do that. But then while they're doing that, suddenly they see something distracting and they go, and hey, what's this cool thing we just found? And it's like they don't care that Brooklyn's flooding, and then they get whisked away on the magical adventure, and Mario's like, oh god, I need to find my brother, but also like, whoa, this cool place that I'm in. And it's like characters keep forgetting the previous scene, what they were doing, as they start doing new things, and it's very disjointed like that, and a little distracting how they get from beat to beat a few times. But it's
It's
also a
funny.
kids movie. What are you
Yeah,
gonna say? What are you gonna say? Yeah.
it's funny that you put it that way because I can't argue with it. Like I enjoyed it. I think
Mm-hmm.
the problem is that there was so much of the fan service that
Mm-hmm.
in my Letterboxd review I said this is a movie that people 6 to 60 will appreciate some aspect of, because
Mm-hmm.
I mean they have references to the Donkey Kong game where
Yeah.
Donkey Kong's literally throwing
The movie
barrels.
basically opens with it. Like, it's like
Right.
one of the first things.
Right. So, like, if you've played any of the Mario games throughout the history of video games, there's something that you'll recognize, or you'll
Yeah.
feel like, oh, that's my thing. I mean, right down to the Nintendo 64 Luigi led game. I was impressed at how they shoehorned that
Yeah.
into a thing that didn't feel too forced, even though I know it was forced in there to be a thing that you recognize from
Right.
Luigi's Mansion.
Well,
And
I mean, it's not like he like grabbed a vacuum cleaner and said, "You ghosts better stay away because this is Luigi's mansion." Like, it had a little more self control than that. But I get what you mean, and I didn't realize that until the moment was over with. But once I did click that that's what that scene was, I'm like, "Oh, that's kind of cute."
yeah, it happened a couple of times with things, and it was unique. I don't want to call it meta. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like it was them recognizing that we're gonna have Mario and Luigi, but they're not gonna sound like Mario and Luigi, and we're gonna show you what you want to see
Mhm.
and hear for a second, and then we're gonna say how silly it would be right now, because they give you the just stereotypical, "It's a me, Mario," and
Right.
there's that where you get Mario for a second, and then they're like, "Ah, why are you doing that silly voice?" Or something like that, and it's just like, okay, so they acknowledge that they're not doing that, and here's the reason why, which
Yeah,
if
that's
I'm
fine.
5, I have no history, so what.
Right.
Yeah, okay, silly. Uh, Silly small business puts all of their money into a commercial. Again, capitalism.
Always a good idea, too. Always put all your eggs in one basket, kids. Remember that. Always put your eggs in the single basket.
Yeah, 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 and again, in the beginning, which uh, they open in Brooklyn, and they have their own plumbing business, which they have a commercial for, but
Mhm.
not clients. And that, to me, I felt like was something that was like out of the Bob Hoskins 1993 John Leguizamo thing, like a little tip of the cap to, hey, remember that thing that nobody really likes and was kind of
I like
out
it.
there? You like it, and Cody Johnston likes it quite a bit, and
What's
managed.
his name is putting on a hell of a performance as Bowser. Dennis Hopper, man, he's
Yes,
knocking
yes,
it out of the park. Okay,
yes.
like
The 45th president went back in time to
Mhm.
to play Bowser in the 1993 um, Super Mario Brothers, and I think that's part of why I enjoyed this so much, because the little kid that wanted to see a Mario Brothers movie in '93 got that movie 30 years too late, but at
Yeah.
least I got it.
Yeah, screw that kid. What does he matter
Yeah,
for anyway?
yeah. What a
Like, yeah,
dick. What's he
seriously,
going to learn anyway?
an entitled shitbag. I mean, yeah, yeah. And another thing I actually really liked about this movie was the music. Not the pop songs. We'll talk about that, but like the
Ah,
original score for the movie that actually
mhm.
involved like a lot of like the classic sound effects and stuff like that. That stuff was great. I really appreciated like all the little callbacks and stuff that was going on with there, because music can really hit you hard in the feels and the memories sometimes.
Yeah.
People, I mean, I guess everyone says that. I was about to say it gets underplayed, but not everyone says that. But I did not like the pop music though. There was like in
No.
the first 10 minutes, I want to say like 4 or 5 needle drops for popular songs, and each one of them just grated against my soul.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird. Like, maybe Sonic needs something like that. Mario is such a staple in pop culture across
Right.
the world
Yeah.
that you don't need to Tarantino your movie with
No,
needle drops. Like, you really don't need to do that.
I don't think there's a single good one, if we're being honest. I mean, I guess the first one was kind of funny because they used it to hype up a thing, and then the hype was for nothing. So that was kind of funny, I guess. But like, I think all the other ones were like objectively bad.
I'm trying to remember if I remember thinking just like eye rolling when it came to the music. I
Right.
don't remember. Yeah,
Well,
I was too busy being fascinated with how they shoehorned like stuff like Rainbow Road
right.
into.
That's
I was
fine.
like, oh,
Yeah.
eh, I'm not questioning this too much, and I actually kind of appreciate that. This
Yeah.
is, and it's a third act thing that they somehow pay homage to Mario Kart, but it fits for the very limited story that
Mhm.
they're telling, and
So
you,
limited.
you're right. You're right in that. I mean, but the movie's based on a game where Princess gets captured and Mario saves her. This they do a little bit of a twist, a little modern
Yeah.
Me Too twist.
Yeah.
If anything, I still felt like it was a little.
I thought it worked. It was
I
fun.
thought I just thought Bowser was a little.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean, Jack Black was great. I love
Oh, of
Jack Black.
course, of
I will never
course.
say a bad word about Jack Black. Like even like what was it? Never Ending Story 3. Does anyone remember that? He's the bad guy in that, and he's incredible in that terrible movie. But like, what was Bowser doing? Like he had like
Yeah,
3 scenes that were just about how much she's in love with Princess Peach,
yeah,
and,
yeah,
and
and
like
singing songs and like really being stalkerish, and it's like I'd rather him capture her and like he had like the jealous boyfriend thing, like who's this
yeah,
Mario guy? Like
yeah.
it was I don't know, like you went so far past being modern that you forgot that you're being weird in other ways. Like
Well, what's funny is like at first I thought they were trying to just set him up to be that villain that is like, hey, he's the bad guy today, but tomorrow we're playing golf because like Bowser's always doing weird dumbass things with Mario and all these games and stuff. But then at the end, like no, that's not what they're doing because he's going full on kill everyone genocide.
yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, okay, I don't know what you're doing, movie. What's the point of Bowser here?
Yeah, well, like in the beginning, they made it seem like Bowser was just playing a massive game of Risk and taking
Yeah.
over all of these brightly colored universes. One that was
Yeah, well, the universes or were they like continents in the same world?
yeah,
I had trouble kind of figuring that
it was
out. Like,
it was a big digital game of Risk, is what it
there
felt
you go.
like.
Okay.
And whenever Bowser took a property, it just turned to charcoal. That's pretty much what it looked like.
Yeah. And
Um,
like that ship thing that he has, that's like a big old like flying volcano island. Like that's pretty spooky, man. Like especially when it's like coming down, like in the first opening scene where it's like a mouth that's like eating this like frozen kingdom. That was
yeah,
pretty cool. I'm not
yeah.
gonna lie.
For as much shit as Illumination gets,
Mhm.
I think this movie was gorgeous, and especially considering what the source material was that it was referencing.
Right.
Uh, I I actually again, this is a fan probably talking more than a critic, but like I got again I got my movie 30 years too late, but
Woohoo.
I was pleased with it, and the way that they did so much fan service. If you grew up with a game from Super Nintendo, you had stuff in there. Yeah. If you grew up with 64, you had something in there.
I love that the
GameCube.
closing title, like when the movie ended, like the title card was like right out of the N64. Like that
Right.
that got me in some feels a little, right? Even
Yeah.
my cold heart, that's like kind of whatever, but it got me for a second.
And again, it's simple enough where if you're a kid who's only played I don't know what Switch, which
What
I
was the
haven't
current
played a
Mario Galaxy Universe Prime 2 or something like that? I don't even know
yeah,
what the current, yeah.
yes, Mario Golf Kart 17.
69. It's set in
Um
1769. It's actually during the Revolutionary War. It's Mario and friends fighting the British off of the
That would
American
explain the
shore.
cannons.
It would.
But yeah, Peach does not need saving. Peach is actually
Yeah.
a bit of a Amidala type character.
And that's cool. Like I know
Yeah.
like Peach is like a character in some of the games, but like the majority of the world knows, like 98.6% of the world knows Peach is go save the princess. Like,
Yeah.
not that many people play Smash Bros. Not that many people have played Paper Mario. I haven't even beaten Paper Mario. It's fun, but I've
Yeah,
anyway.
Peach is slow in the
Yeah,
cart game. I remember that. That was the
yeah.
only thing that like I'd never play as Peach in the cart game because she was always slow. But
I
in
did like her
Smash
in the
Brothers,
original Mario 2 on the regular Nintendo, the game that wasn't meant to be a Mario game. They
yeah,
just reskinned, and she could like
where
float.
you could
Yeah,
float it with if you held the skirt a certain
she was
way.
the best
Like
character because of that, because she could float. She beat everyone. Like
yeah,
no one else had an ability.
you can hover.
Well, I guess Luigi was a little faster, so I guess maybe other people, but whatever. The ability to fly is always cool. Like,
Yeah, Bob screaming woke, Jacob screaming, Peach not being a loser sounds woke to me. Yeah, yeah, and the training process, I felt Rise of Skywalker pangs when Mario is. I mean, again, they shoehorned mushroom in there. That here you need to eat this mushroom to to uh to grow. But there's
and
different
Mario
mushrooms.
hates mushrooms because
Yeah,
famous Mario hates mushrooms.
yeah, like
That's some
that.
weird
That was
shit.
a weird little thing to throw in there, but I like that they had the different mushrooms, and
Right.
um,
And
I
I did
felt
like
like
that
they
they
could.
referenced the mushroom that kills you, because I had a babysitter who had the lost levels of Mario on whatever system that was, like the Super Nintendo or whatever. And there was in the first level, one of the first blocks you could hit gave you a blue mushroom and it killed you instead of giving you a 1-up. And I would always try and get up and be like, what am I doing wrong? Why is it killing? It took me so long to realize it was poisonous. Like, it's just me being an idiot, but still, I liked the reference.
Yeah, yeah. Paper thin in the story department, but I mean, who genuinely can name? I mean, it's not Pixar. We've established that. As far as a kids movie's concerned, and as far as idiots like me are concerned, I
Mhm.
think it's good enough. I really do. I think you might get if the kids want to go back, you might get repeat viewings from the parents that are like, you know what? I won't wait until it's on streaming. Let's go because I want to see it again. And doesn't quite make me want to play the Mario games the way The Last of Us
Hmm.
did. Like every time I watched an episode of Last of Us, I was like, all right, I really need to play this game because this is things that I want to see.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. I haven't played. It's finally out on PC. The Last of Us. I'm about to go on a little family vacation. When I get back, I'm gonna buy the game and check it out finally. But I've been dying to play that game forever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially you just got that pimped out PC too,
Oh yeah,
right?
no,
So
I'm ready to let's go. Let's fucking go.
yeah, so you're gonna be able to properly have that nice and decked out. So yeah, that'll be interesting to hear. Um, you are the go-to gamer guy on show business, Lindsay.
It's me. It's a me.
It's a you, Linzo.
It's a me, Gamero. I mean, it's yeah. I guess. I've never been the biggest Mario fan, but I do like them. Like, I usually end up playing them at other friends' house. But so it's been a while since I played one.
Uh,
But I'm a gamer, yeah.
Discounting
Mhm.
The Last of Us because Jacob said something that I agree with. That television is making far better material lately, and I would put Last of Us in that category too. Discounting that,
Mhm.
why is it so hard to adapt video game stuff to movies?
Oh, it's. I mean, it's simple, but it's complicated. So, with an adaptation, like correct me if I'm wrong, chat, CP, anyone, God, strike me down. Like, I think video game to movie or video game to book is the only form of adaptation where you're taking something away. Like book to movie, you're adding actors, you're adding music, you're adding camera work and all that kind of stuff. Play to book, you're no longer confined by the constraints of a play. You can have the full imagination of a book. A TV show to movie, you get the big budget. But video game to movie, you're taking out one of the most defining qualities of video game: control. You're taking away agency, your decision making, like the ability to affect the world that the story is happening in some capacity. Obviously, every game is a little bit different. I've from what I know about The Last of Us, it's not really on rails, but it's kind of on rails to tell you this very specific
guided.
story.
Yeah,
it's very guided. Yeah, got it. That, from what I've heard, that's a good way to say it. And that's like it's in a lot of these games that they adapt. Like once you take that away, what's left? Like what's left for Street Fighter when you're no longer trying to beat your best friend, or you're no longer trying to beat the best game? Like, I'm not saying Street Fighter doesn't have a good story. I'm sure some of the characters have fascinating backstories, but does Street Fighter have that good of a story? Like, you guys tell me. Like, Mortal Kombat's fun because of how weird and out there it is, and how
you talking about the
fearless it
original,
is.
the '95 one?
Oh no, just like the franchise in general,
Oh.
like the original like Mortal Kombat games. Like, it's great and weird and violent and fun, but like when you take away, ripping your friend's spine out, what's left for a movie to do? Is there really that much story? I know Sub-Zero.
Can we get that as a pull quote,
Yeah.
please?
Please,
When you're done ripping your friend's spine out, what is there left to do? Lindsay, show
Please,
business.
no, I want that on my epitaph. Actually, that's the most profound thing I'm ever gonna say.
But like that, we were talking about it earlier. Those, like the Mortal Kombat movie from the '90s, the Street Fighter movie from the '90s, hell, the Super Mario movie from the '90s.
My three favorite movies.
Yeah, in that specific order.
Yes,
they kind of play right into what we were talking about with Hollywood and how cynically they approach property they think is a surefire winner. The thing made money already. We don't have to do anything else. We're just gonna fucking adapt it and do something weird. Like Mortal Kombat was such a bizarre. I mean, that was my favorite video game adaptation, which is saying nothing before last year.
Honestly, there's still a lot in that movie I quite like. I love how horribly Goro's aged. I love Highlander as not Zeus. The bad guy is one of the best hammy villains in the history of Hollywood. Like, there's a lot to like in that first movie. Like, there's also a lot of bad stuff, but there's a lot to like in that first movie, if you ask me. Same with. Oh, you good? You good? Oh, do we lose CP? Okay, I'm going to keep going until CP gets back. So I'm even going to defend Street Fighter for a minute, because who doesn't love Raul Julia? That man was a goddamn treasure, and he went full Shakespearean in that movie. And, Jean-Claude Van Damme is always fun with his goofy accent and stuff like that. So, like, even these bad movies in the 90s, I kind of like them.
Whoa.
Oh, I heard CP.
Whoa.
Wow, wow, wee, whoa.
All right, so that was just another full-blown melon shit.
You're good. I just ranted about not hating those
said
movies
it best. Yeah, and thank you, because I'd like it. Everything went just ape shit on my end, and yeah. So for those of you who think the price of melon is appealing versus StreamYard, you've witnessed it a couple of times now, why it's not appealing and why I will not be with melon past this month. And I mean, their service is terrible. I mean, even for a cheaper price, I'd rather do this on StreamYard for free and know that there aren't going to be hiccups.
But that's security and peace of mind is worth so much money when you're trying to do this kind of stuff. Like, I've dropped money before just because, like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Cash, big problem, go away.
Yeah. And this is just use OBS. Yeah. It's very free, but fidgety as fuck.
You're on Mac still, right? Or are you back on PC yet?
Yeah. No, I haven't been in school. I haven't been on PC since what's his face has died.
Steve Gutenberg?
Steve Jobs.
Same person.
Steve. Wait, is he alive? Dead? Wait a minute.
I think he's alive.
Take it easy, Jacob. The quality of this looks like a Cool Duder movie. Ouch. Ouch. The frustrating part is we're putting effort in.
I put my face on for this. You don't want to know what I looked like 5 minutes before we went live. Like, I look like one of those clickers in the last
OBS. Bob says OBS is amazing, but not entry level. I wouldn't even say it's expert level.
I've been using OBS for years, and there's so many things it does that I have no idea how to even do. I just know like the baseline.
Oh, okay. Correction. Gutenberg's career died January 1st, 1990, with Police Academy 14.
I was about to see what came out on that day.
All right. So we were talking about the struggle to adapt video game movies, and you've nailed it on the head. The thing that movies at least can't figure out and can't nail is the investment in the character that the audience has. Like the video game, they don't need to, but some games do establish character.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you're experiencing it yourself. Like you're invested in how you're doing. So whatever's happening, the character. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't movie style games that like Last of Us, Uncharted. So there's some, God of War. There are some games that have story and stuff that it's not just about running and doing missions and whatever. But
there's an X-Files game in the 90s on the PlayStation 1 that I played that just felt like an episode of the X-Files, mostly because it was a full motion, like it was shot like to be kind of a movie and stuff like that with some of the cast and stuff like that. It was kind of cool. Terrible game in retrospect, but it was fun to do.
Yeah, some of the puzzle games from the 90s, they were like really, really like Myst.
Oh yeah,
who does
low point and click? Yeah,
yeah. It was probably one of the first ones where it was like you felt like invested in what was happening next. But I can imagine adapting that just being dog shit. But
like what was that game a couple years ago that's like just nothing but puzzles, like an island of puzzles? I forget. Like it got a lot of press and stuff like that. No, I mean that's I think they did that twice, just if we're being real. And I still think one of the best videos I ever made was responding to Angry Birds. I just got a perfect gif of like that sign from the movie that was like happy, sad, happy. and then I looped it for an hour and 35 minutes because that's how long the movie was, and that was my review.
Yeah, that movie could have been far worse. I'll give it that credit.
Jason Sudeikis was good. It was Sudeikis, right?
Yeah. Ted Lasso.
Good old Teddy Lasso.
Yeah. So, what would you need a Mario game to do to be like a solid movie? It's something that I would say you do not adapt into a movie.
Yeah, no, there's some things that you just leave in the medium that they were created to be. Like sometimes that's like the point. Like I adore Metal Gear Solid. Ooh. And I love the guy who's directing the upcoming Metal Gear Solid movie, but I am terrified by how much of a shit show the Metal Gear Solid movie is going to be, because like some of the coolest things about Metal Gear Solid is literally in games. Like there's a boss in the original Metal Gear Solid, not the original, but the one for the PlayStation 1, that you can't beat if your controller is plugged into the first player controller port, because you can read your inputs as you're doing it and dodge them. You have to unplug your controller, put it in the second player slot, and then he can't read your movements, and that's how you beat him. Like, how do you recreate the feeling of that in a movie? You can't. It just wouldn't be the same. Oh, did we lose CP again?
Oh, did we?
Oh no, there you are. There, you're back.
Melon, baby. Love it. Yeah, one gig connection here too, by the way. I can download a 4K movie in 10 minutes.
Oh wow.
But God forbid, God, blame it on my internet. Yeah. They certainly do.
We're just wrapping that duct tape tighter and tighter and tighter around the cable, like so we can barely.
Melon, more like pea.
You should celebrate grape. No God, you should celebrate not being on Melon anymore by pulling a Gallagher and just smash a watermelon on camera.
Oh, I bet I can find royalty-free footage of something like that. Thank you, sir.
Mm.
I'll attribute you with writing that joke.
Please
Very good.
superimpose my face on the
On
watermelon.
the melon.
And on the individual pieces. I want to see my eyeball on a piece of melon flying off.
Melon, the broccoli of the streaming world. Dice. That's a pull quote.
Dice is on fire. That's sick.
I mean, when doesn't Dice show
Yeah,
up with
that's true.
a line from a stream?
Dice is always here to play, unlike that Bob guy.
Wait, am I glitching again?
No, you're here.
Metal Gear Solid and CP glitching like the Colonel AI in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Cody, I owe you a high five just for that joke. That's a deep pull right there. That's
Yeah, I'm out of the loop on that one. I've got to be honest.
There's a moment in Metal Gear Solid 2 where a character is revealed to be a computer, and like you're like, what's wrong with this person? They're telling you to sit down, stop playing the game, go outside for a while. You've been playing for way too long. It's amazing.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah. Again, and how do you do that in a movie? Like, how do you stop watching this film, go outside, leave the theater?
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to think of some of the best story-esque video games. I mean, Sonic, they somehow managed to make a side scroller work,
Yeah.
and enough so that it warranted a sequel and got people more interested in the sequel. I mean, having Jim Carrey in that movie certainly didn't hurt.
No. And Idris Elba being in the sequel, that definitely got some seeds.
But like, did they explain why Sonic needs rings? Like, that wasn't sufficient. Like, I guess the mushroom thing with Mario was all right. You got mushrooms in there, but like, you don't have to make movies to explain the games.
No.
Like, you don't do 1993 Super Mario, but you don't have to, like, actually what's in the game. So it's like it's so strange. They have like creative license, you would think, to a certain degree, and they still seem like they're making sure that they're trying to please everybody and nobody at the same time.
Yeah. And then it's like you have so many weird choices sometimes in video game adaptations. Like you have the Netflix Resident Evil series that was like set like after the events of the original Resident Evil game, but also like kind of off in its own universe at the same time too, but also in the future. Like, so it's like, what's happening? And I had hope for that show too. But
I had hope for Resident Evil after the second Mila Jovovich movie, and then they stopped making sense. Well, not like they ever made sense, but
after that, it became like a Mad Max movie, and then it was like a Prison Break movie, and then it was like a underwater city movie.
Dude, there were no stakes.
Yeah.
Once there was a pile of Alice's at the bottom of a compactor or whatever, it was like, oh, okay, so if she dies, there's another one waiting on standby. So like, I don't care what happens to her. And then there was that one movie that they opened with, I think it was the fourth one, where it's just a bunch of Alice's running and shooting at a helicopter going away, and like, that's in the first 5 minutes, and I'm like, oh boy, this is weak. This is weak.
Yeah, and then I'll never get over the final chapter in that franchise, the last movie. The first 5 minutes of it are dedicated to retconning the entire franchise. It's just like, why? Why are you changing everything right as... I mean, obviously, they're not going to wrap it up. I still think we're going to get an 8th Mila Jovovich Resident Evil movie at some point.
Yep.
But
Paul W.S. Anderson and his wife apparently both need work, and that appears to be the only way certain directors get work for themselves and their significant others. Yeah, Dice says we're getting a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Let's not forget. Yeah, Willy's Wonderland, I felt like was it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and top that. I mean, there are side scrollers that you can probably adapt,
Yeah.
like Ghosts and Goblins is a game that I
Mhm.
would be curious to see how, add some story to that.
I don't know that
Contra.
one, but sure. No, Contra would be interesting.
I mean, you could the one thing you basically just make brothers, Rambo with brothers, and just
Two
get the
brothers have
yeah.
to fight the aliens.
It's just called Two Brothers. I don't think we're allowed to do those jokes anymore.
No.
Yeah, I just get the code in there. There you go. Do your little nod, the Contra code, up, down, left, right, ABA, start. That's it. That's how they have to open a suitcase or something. But make, it's just, I mean, because Uncharted was reverse Indiana Jones.
Right. Yeah.
If you played the first Uncharted, you're like, oh, this is Indiana Jones with Han Solo as Indiana Jones, even though Harrison Ford is both Han Solo and Indiana Jones. You get more of the Han Solo Harrison Ford in. I've crossed myself.
No, you're good. No.
He's snarkier. The Nathan Drake character is snarkier than Indiana Jones was. It felt like you dropped Harrison Ford as Han Solo into the Indiana Jones universe. Man,
That's interesting.
Man,
that's interesting. I want to see that crossover.
Is my head on fire because it feels like my brain is smoking?
Oh no, you're good. But I honestly want to see that movie. I want to see Indiana Jones and Han Solo have to go take out the Death Star 3 or something like that. I don't know. Like I'd watch that.
Lucasfilm,
right?
Kathleen Kennedy still got a job, so hold your breath.
She's not going anywhere anytime soon. I hope they never fire her just for spite. That'd be so amazing.
Well, that's I guess news. They had Star Wars weekend. This weekend and announced Daisy Ridley will be making another film.
I don't know how much they had to pay her to do that, but good for her.
Good for her and good for them because fuck the internet. Like genuinely, I'm the further and further away I get from the sequel trilogy, the more I'm like, you fucked that up so hard.
Yeah.
But because of the internet reaction to it, go ahead, do more. Go ahead, do more. I'm done, but just because these fucking grifters and all their stupid reasonings for hating on shit. Good. Make her like the prequel to Palpatine. Just go balls out. And
it would be fun is if like they make it's called like Star Wars Rey or something like that, but it's actually just a retcon to Star Wars Episode 9, and it's putting in all the stuff that the Last Jedi set up that they didn't pay off. That'd be so cool. That'd be so petty, but it'd be so cool. I want that so badly.
Or just like they're it's after she dies and like they're ghost Jedi, and she just the climax of the film is her destroying Luke. Like how fucked would the internet be for at least a decade if that were your film?
And then Mark Hamill randomly just tweets out, "I have feelings on the new ending," but he never specifies what they are.
Yeah, I'm with you, Bob. You know what? I keep saying I'm done, but I'll be there. I keep saying I'm done with all these fucking comic movies and Star Wars Ray of Hope. Yeah.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a movie about the Star Wars equivalent of Quidditch. Just whatever the big national sport is.
Oh yeah, that'd be neat.
Just the Star Wars Quidditch tournament. And maybe they're actually playing Quidditch. I don't know. It's just fuck it. They've got rocket brooms instead of being magically enchanted. They just got little jetpacks on the end of the broomsticks, and they fly around and do that. And only Jedi can do it, so they can pull the quaffle to them. Or I don't know. Just something that's not the Empire. It's not Jedi. It's not Rebels. Just I want something new in Star Wars. Considering the outrage and backlash, I would love it if
if Disney took $200 million to troll the internet and made Ray Luke transition into Ray or vice versa through the power of the Force of something like that. Just go full LGBTQ and just have a middle finger the whole time. Just like, here you go in the bottom corner. Just I don't care, plot or not. Just
I love how you just like burn the world down.
Yeah.
Let's just let it all go.
Fuck it. Yeah, I don't even care.
Actually, Dice's comment right there. Are they going to space yet? I want to see a Star Wars movie that never goes to space. I want like entirely on one planet. Or maybe entirely on like I want a bottle episode of Star Wars, something or other. Like maybe it's entirely on like a space station, like that one episode of The Mandalorian in season 1. Like
Bill Burr.
Right? Just give me a small scale, tiny like The Thing. Give me The Thing, but Star Wars. And like they're just trapped and they can't get out. They don't know who to trust. Like the Jedi's trying to read everyone's minds, and like you can read most people's minds, but not these 3 people. And one of those 3 people be infected, but the other 2 are just immune to Jedi powers because one's like Watto from episode 1. So he's like, your Jedi powers don't work on me. I'm racist caricature.
No, they won't.
Wow. That was a good Watto, my friend. That was sick.
Nubian, yes.
That is so. How are you so good at that?
I don't know. I have no
That's
soul.
the character that you can.
I love that, by the way, too. If we're just going to go full anti-woke, all of the people ditching Bud Light and going for Coors, who was the first beer corporation to publicly acknowledge the LGBTQ community. And they like made it, they made a thing of hiring members of that community in the 90s. If there ever was a woke company, it is Coors. Good job, guys. Good job. Way to do your homework, you fucks. You fucking idiots.
I remember a few years ago where it's like Nike and like Gillette and a couple other companies like really came out and like were like for Me Too or like, or no, I guess it was like the kneeling stuff with Nike with football. And then everyone starts burning their Nikes and throwing away their expensive razors and stuff. Do you know how much money Nike made that year more than the previous year? $7 billion with a B, because all you idiots who burned your Nikes, I think 85% of them was the statistic I saw, went out and bought more Nikes to replace the ones you burned.
Or bought it to have a fucking viral video.
They went out and bought a $150 pair of shoes just to burn. Like
Home Depot, when Ben Shapiro was like, I've got this plank of wood that I clearly work with.
As he called a cobbler at some point. This beautiful piece of cobbler. I have never heard a piece of wood be referred to as cobbler before in my entire life. That man has never touched wood before. You
can't even make like I don't know what that one little plank is for, but maybe if you want to like I don't know. Like he
was planning for his Halloween costume that year. He was going to go as the guy from Ed, Edd and Eddy, who had an imaginary friend that was Plank. And he was going to just draw eyes and a face on it. And he was just going to be the Plank guy from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
That's why I don't drink light beer. I only drink microbrews. Support local wokeness. Indeed.
Cheers
Light with shit beers anyway. Yeah, they're all piss water. Guys, my plea to you as somebody who doesn't really drink alcohol, go to Europe because the alcohol percentage is higher in Europe.
The bar that I work at is a Belgium beer bar. We actually don't have hard alcohol because we're really big on craft beers from like the Pasadena and the California
10%
and Belgium stuff. Yeah, no, just like really good kind of fancy beers, and some of them are pretty expensive, but they'll kick your ass if you're not careful. But they're really, really good. But European beers are amazing, guys.
Yeah. When I was in Denmark, I remember the beer it wasn't too expensive. Well, because I was in Europe at the time. And I think it was 17% alcohol. And it was like, this is beer. What the fuck is going on here?
But one of my favorite beers is like at work, and is like 11%, and so I want to recommend it to everyone, but it's like not everyone's down for an 11% beer.
Yeah. I'd just like to have a little something with my hamburger, please. Not, I don't want to be crawling home. Galveston Island Brewery has damn good IPAs. All right, we've become a beer show. I did not mean for that to happen.
Show beer or beer business.
Yeah. Drunk, get drunk, go skunk. I don't know.
Get drunk, go skunk. What does that even mean?
Because Budweiser's usually like skunk beer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair.
Oh, very, very good, Troy. Kind of ironic since Kid Rock transitioned from rap to rock to a country rock guy.
Yeah.
That is up there. Top 3 comments. Ones that make you think.
And then Bob's coming in swinging.
Does that make Kid Rock a trans artist? He'd have to perform art first for that last word.
Yeah.
He is an American badass.
What was his like big song? I forgot. Was it Rollin'? Was he the Rollin' guy?
No, that's Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit. Okay, so Limp Bizkit.
And I hate that I know that.
Yeah, I'm impressed, honestly.
He was ba with the ba, the dingy diggy.
Oh, the song that's just pure gibberish. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah.
Ba with the ba, the dingy diggy.
Oh yeah, Bob to the dang to the organized chaos to the diggy.
Diggy. Up dice rolling. Ba with the ba, the Bob the chaos.
Wait, what are the lyrics to that song? Now I need to know. Okay, Kid Rock.
Diggy.
Ba to the ba.
And then he says, I think it's ba with the ba.
Ba with the da, the dang, diggy said the boogie, said up, jump the boogie.
Art. This is art.
What does any of that? I'm assuming that's sexual in some capacity.
Dude, and then he says, my name is Kid for like 30 seconds.
Yeah, right, of course.
Oh, Cowboy. That's right. That was a popular one too. Didn't he do like a slow one?
Probably.
Or am I thinking of Everlast? See, I get all the ex-rappers that did something country. I get them all mixed up.
Is there a lot of those? I didn't realize there were that many of them.
Yeah. There's like a market for people that were like rap rock, and then they do their country thing. There's a few.
I just remember when I was a kid, I used to call country rappers crap. Country rap crap. Yeah. That's how clever I was when I was 12.
Not gonna lie, I like some of his stuff. Please don't hate me. Dude,
leave.
No, we're all good. We're all good.
My group of friends are the kind of people where you can't say it's been a while without at least one person going, it's been a while.
Yeah,
so, you're totally good, man.
We're taste. That's it's your taste, whatever. He did pictures with Sheryl Crow.
Oh, all right.
I don't remember. If you wanted to ask me about who's done something in the 2000s, I would have never said Sheryl Crow.
Yeah,
because I would have put her with like 4 Non-Blondes as one-hit wonder territory.
I go through periods of my time where I'm obsessed with that song. What's up?
All I wanna do is have some fun. Like that's the mid 90s. That song.
Yeah. He did a decent what? Just out of context, Bob's comment there is hilarious. I just have so many questions.
He did a decent album with Butthole Surfers that they have since disavowed.
But like, what is Butthole Surfers? Was it disavowed because they were called Butthole Surfers, or was that like incidental to
No, they disavowed it.
Oh,
so
they disavowed
okay. You are of the high standard of the Butthole Surfers, and you disavow something. So just think about that.
Interesting.
I like,
yeah.
When people make band names like on a LARP, and they like end up having some sort of something as a career and don't change their names, like it makes me chuckle a little bit. Like they made their name on a giggle on a dare or something. Like when they reported that the lead singer from Anal Cunt died, I was like, they actually had to say that on the news. Good job.
Did he say it without breaking? Was he able to stay?
He paused. He paused. He's like, lead singer from Anal Cunt died of a apparent overdose.
Am I allowed to say these words on TV?
Yeah.
Do I have permission?
I mean, we were able to say shithole for a little bit once 45 broke the barrier down. So,
well,
I guess if you're quoting something, you can say it.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
Is it fair?
Oh. I do remember though when South Park did the episode where they could say shit as many times as they wanted.
Oh yeah.
So had like a little counter in the bottom right just every time someone said shit.
Oh, and he copied Sweet Home Alabama to make a song. He said he copied that and Sweet Home Alabama to make a song. That and Werewolves of London.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, I know the little intro. Yeah, we've if there were rails, they're buried and
they're back there somewhere.
We're gone.
So some good video game adaptations, just to throw them out there that I really enjoy, just to get us on topic somewhat. I love that music discussion though. Detective Pikachu, I think, was the first one that I was like, I actually really liked this movie.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know shit about Pokemon, but I was like, yeah, all right, he drinks coffee. That's cute.
I know the first two generations of Pokemon, nothing after that, but I don't know, like there was a couple of moments that kind of went on too long, like when there was like two like Godzilla-sized turtles stomping around and everyone almost died. I kind of fell asleep.
Oh yeah, like they were the land or whatever. Like that was I mean, that was a neat look. Right? Like watching it, like, whoa.
Also, can I capture that Pokemon and use that Pokemon in a battle? Because I think that Pokemon would be unstoppable.
Yeah, I'd rather just have the dude that can just move with you on him and just. What was
go ahead? What were you gonna say?
No. I don't know what I want to say. Okay. So please go. There was something in Detective Pikachu that Emily was rolling at, and then.
Well, there's a couple of great jokes. One my friend quotes to me all the time is like, Pikachu gets something on his finger and he's like, smell that, and then the guy's like, no, and he's like, coward. Like, I just love that little interaction so much. And then like the girl, like the manic pixie dream girl in that movie actually worked surprisingly well, I thought. As did Billy Nye. The bad guy was Bill Nye, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Bill Nye? Bill Nye played goddamn Mewtwo. That movie left Pokemon fans like spoiled, like nothing we could have asked for.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the Ditto with like the weird like tiny eyes as it like morphed into like people. Oh, that was nightmaric. Oh, that was great.
What was the thing that would explode? That I laughed at. The
Psyduck. The little psychic duck. Yeah. Oh, dude, you're doing a Psyduck too. Hell yeah, man.
I have a career. Yeah. There's a future for me yet.
There you go.
Yeah, that was something that was fascinating.
Other really good video game adaptations. It's not really like the strictest of adaptations because like the game that comes from doesn't really have a story. There's just lore outside of the game. Arcane. It's a series on Netflix. It's like 8 or 9 episodes, something like that. Absolutely incredible. One of the best pieces of animation you'll ever see in your life. It's up there with Spider-Verse. I don't know which one is like better animation. Like, how do you compare and contrast? But it's 3D animation with like a bunch of 2D animation mixed in with it, and it's just absolutely stunning. Incredible story about class division and stuff like that. It's a really great series.
It's a show. Yeah, we're not counting it because
then Mortal Kombat. I liked the new Mortal Kombat more sort of kind of.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah, it was all right. Right?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's better or worse than the original, but it's fine.
Yeah, they didn't need a pirate ship to go through space to enter the tournament. Where why? Yeah. Just why? Why are you trying to make this at all make sense?
Yeah, and the guy playing Kano alone makes that movie perfectly watchable. Like that guy's having so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, I was very young, very surface level, and the fact that Bridget Wilson was in that, I was like. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about the original. I'm talking about the newer one. But yeah.
They fleshed Kano out a little bit, and he was a bit of a you were given reason to hate him in the
And honestly, the Kano in the
1992
original was
version.
great too. Like the Kano, as we know it as a character, was actually kind of defined by that original movie, I believe. Like I don't think he was ever Australian until that original movie, and so that kind of made him that going forward.
I like some of the cinematography on the way that, like, when he was in the shadows, the way they captured his.
Yeah, like that sparks, and there was like that chain, like right in
Yeah,
front of his face
yeah.
or something. Yeah, I know the
Like,
shot you're talking about. That's a good shot.
cinematography in a
Right?
movie adapted from a fighting game.
With a static camera.
just two people just
just full coverage, no close-ups, just the wide, just always shot in the wide.
But yes, Zach says I like the Tomb Raider reboot. I did as well with Alicia Vikander.
Yeah, I mean, I love her. She's incredible. I'll watch her in anything. That movie got a little too silly for me and a little too Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade towards the end, but it was okay.
No, they all kind of do, like, like just like Uncharted. At a certain point, you've got to acknowledge the fact that you're aping Indiana Jones. Like, like just acknowledge it at some point.
Also, like, I think Uncharted is like, and I've talked about this on here before, so if I'm being a broken record, guys, I'm sorry, but like, I am endlessly fascinated by that movie because it is like the most obviously ruined by COVID movie I think that we have. Because the first day of its initial shoot was the day that mass quarantine was declared, and it was one of the first movies to go back to shooting. So it was like the real water tester. Like, okay, and you could see it in the movie because like there's scenes where people need to be kind of close together, but they're shot in a way that you can tell they're 10 feet apart, and they're like supposed to.
Oh my God!
But they're like so far away. How do you pickpocket someone when you're so far away? But because they couldn't get close enough because of COVID restrictions. Like you could see it on screen. It's crazy.
Yeah, but the thing, like, you had the fan film, which it basically gave everybody what they wanted in what's his face from Firefly. What's his name? Why is his name drifting me?
The Firefly guy? Oh, Nathan Fillion?
Nathan Fillion. Like, the internet had crowned him Nathan Drake.
Oh, yeah.
We had that. Yeah, we had that fan film. And Sully was what's his cock from Avatar. Why I just don't know names. Just none of them. Just
Mark Wahlberg. He was in Avatar, though. Wait, which guy are you talking about? Oh, Stephen Lang. Sorry.
Yes,
yeah. I apologize.
The fan film. But yes, Mark Wahlberg. He was Sully in the movie, and I feel like. And again, I'm going to keep blaming Sony because they appear to be doing this stupid bullshit constantly. I don't know if they mistakenly thought that the person who plays Spider-Man is a bona fide star and not the other way around. Like, we could just have the guy who plays Spider-Man be whatever. He's not Robert Downey Jr. I mean, hell, Chris Evans can't really make movies that aren't from Marvel.
Right.
I mean, there was that movie that I had fun with Ryan Gosling, but which was directed by the Russos. So,
Gray Man or something like that.
I had fun with that. I don't mind
mixed things, but I'll see it eventually.
Yeah, it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is
that's good.
I like. It's been a while since I've seen Ryan Gosling not take himself seriously, so I think that's what I appreciated more than anything.
Have you heard of a movie called Ghosted, by the way?
No.
It's Scarlett and Chris Evans. No, not Chris Evans. Yeah, Chris Evans, Captain America. So it's Black Widow and Captain America in a movie, and it's like a spy thriller where they have like sexual tension. So I'm like, oh, it's Winter Soldier, but without the Marvel. This looks kind of fun.
I'm gonna have to look that up. No,
I mean, I just saw the trailer at work, so I was like, I was kind of doing stuff as I was watching it, but like, I don't know, from that perspective, it looked fun.
Yeah, I'm fascinated now. But so Sony stupidly said we have the Spider-Man guy. And from what I understand, he wanted to make Uncharted, and they were like, "Oh yeah, oh fine," and didn't do
Please,
any other
Sony,
work.
let me make this movie. I like the game so very much. It'd just be such a good. No.
Yeah, and Mark Wahlberg was too young, or like too young looking, to play
Right.
the Sully character. Like, if you're gonna completely do it from the bottom up, why?
Well, Marky Mark and Stephen Lang aren't really in the same age range or
Right.
talent range.
And I get that, like, they're trying to start a franchise, and eventually Hollywood's going to learn that you just can't Marvel everything. You have to make a contained fucking story and say, "Oh, all right, this did pretty well. We can go forward."
And speaking of Marvel, actually, the D&D movie dropped. Another adapted from a game, and adapted from a game that is all about player choice, literally all about player choice, player agency, and decisions and stuff like that. So you're literally just taking everything that is D&D out of it to make it a movie. But it was actually a lot of fun, and really kind of feel true to a lot of the spirit of D&D. And something that the trailers made look like it would be painful, that I actually rather enjoyed in the movie, was the banter, the dialogue, the kind of jokes going back and forth between the characters, because all the lines and all the jokes felt like they were meant for those characters. They were written for those characters in that scenario, as opposed to where Marvel, sometimes it feels like, I like Marvel sometimes, but sometimes it feels like in a lot of Marvel movies, they just wrote a funny line and it didn't matter who said it, just someone had to say it. And D&D managed to avoid that trap, which was great, I thought. Did you see it?
No, I've heard things, and I was really curious to see what the second weekend was.
Yeah.
And it kind
66% drop, I think.
Yeah, I have it. Wait.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Roll to investigate. Roll to investigate. Roll to investigate. Someone in the audience like that. They're laughing right now.
Yeah. So it dropped 63%.
Okay.
And like I expected, you can't really count Air because it wasn't out last week. Right. It like leapfrogged back below John Wick 4.
Okay.
And I'm fascinated because I've never. The closest I've played to a Dungeons and Dragons game was something called Hero Quest, where you had to buy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Vaguely. I played that once, like a long time ago. Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Yeah.
It was a bit more, I don't know, a bit more less involved than Dungeons and Dragons was. It was a bit more of a, just a buffet of sorts, where Dungeons and Dragons, my knowledge of Dungeons and Dragons is from Stranger Things.
Think of Dungeons like Dragons as people telling a story together. And that's difficult to capture on the big screen and not just be just a generic fantasy thing, because how do you do that without the chaos? But I thought they kind of captured the chaos pretty well, and there's so many little things in it. Like at one point they meet a character who's dramatically better at everything than they are, and that character kind of takes over for a little bit, and that's straight out of like a D&D horror or a meme type thing, where the person who's running the D&D game just makes their own characters so that they can play in the game that they're running. And I don't know, that was just a cute little thing, especially because he was actually a likable character that you like spending time with too. It's a weirdly clever movie, and I think it's the people who made Game Night, that movie that you love so much, that directed this. I could be wrong about that. Let me double check that, actually.
That would make a little bit of sense, because the trailer did intrigue me enough.
You felt the John Francis Daly, the guy from Freaks and Geeks.
Fuck, I'm in.
Yeah, boom, we got him, boys.
So there is another pre-recorded series that I was going to have us do, but we're going to talk about stuff that's already on streaming. So we're going to, while I take a break, we're going to give you the intro to a show that never really took off, but a nice little 10-second break for us two talkies.
God damn, that
Yes.
looked good.
Rent and Rant.
That looks so good.
Your check's in the mail.
Thank you.
So I bring that because I actually watched something that is relevant. It's on streaming and really didn't have much of a life, and I guess technically is still in theaters, and that is Operation Foundation.
Oh, this thing.
It's got it's got something French in it too.
Yeah.
You talk about you talk about feeling like it was COVID made.
Mhm.
This feels like it was made during COVID and directed by Guy Ritchie.
Okay. Is that
But
another movie come out post-COVID too?
yeah, the war movie with Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Oh no! What didn't he make that movie
Why is
where?
he so busy? Oh yeah, The Gentleman.
Yeah. No, that was pre-COVID. Or was it? Well, what's the movie where like Jason Statham's like working for like a armored truck company?
Wrath of Man.
Wrath of Man. That was Guy Ritchie, right?
Is it? What the
I think
fuck?
it is.
Take a break, buddy.
Seriously.
Operation Fortune is just so.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie.
I'm disappointed in you, Guy Ritchie, because it is Mission Impossible on a budget.
Okay.
And the neat thing about it is Hugh Grant playing a pretty fucking funny character, and Aubrey
Talking about
Plaza.
Dungeons and Dragons? No.
Aubrey Plaza returning to comedies. I mean, it's been a couple of movies since we've seen her be silly, and she's essentially she is what Shaun of the Dead. Man, names are
Simon
just
Pegg?
yeah. She's Simon Pegg's character from Mission Impossible in this movie.
Cool. Okay, cool.
And yeah, and Cary Elwes is in it, and he's not completely atrocious, which I mean that was kind of comforting to see.
Has he not been good for a while? I haven't seen him carry anything in a long time.
My point is proven. I rest my case, unless it was like Saw or random Saw sequel that he's actually the bad guy in.
No, you know what? The last thing I saw Cary Elwes in was Black Christmas 2019. I forgot about
Your
that.
Honor, the defense rests.
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Yeah. So yes, I remember that as well, and I had plenty of reason to be like, oh, Cary Elwes, no, but he's not terrible. Again, if 1996's Mission Impossible and the sequels that followed it never existed, you would give this movie credit for something, but it is so not. It just feels like a watered down. I don't know. I read that it had a ton of just shit go on between it. It was supposed to be released in 2022. STX was supposed to be the distributor. They sold it. And Lionsgate, the good old Lionsgate, nice callback there. They picked up the rights and put no marketing into it.
Okay.
And it is now available to stream.
Sweet.
And it's unfortunate because Guy Ritchie makes some fun movies. And on paper, if you read this to me, I would be completely excited for. And I'm watching the movie, and you know, there's parts where I'm engaged enough to have a good time, but I'm disengaged, if that makes any sense, where it's just like, yeah, I all of this feels familiar in some regard or another. Like, oh yeah, Aubrey Plaza doing humor stuff. I'll just
enjoy that.
Yeah, I'll just go watch the other thing where Aubrey Plaza is humor. Maybe
is humor, not humorous. She just is the embodiment of comedy. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like I'll never forget watching Sherlock Holmes in the theater in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. He actually made this fucking thing that has been done so many times before feel
New.
fresh and fascinating and new. And I mean,
They ever gonna make the third one to that? Like that can't happen at this point, right?
I don't know.
Right? I wasn't crazy about the second one, but that first one is really good.
RDJ and Jude Law. You know, that's the other thing too. I can't name a Jude Law movie that I don't like. I can't. I mean, there's some that I'm like,
I'm trying. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm trying.
There's like some that I'm like, yeah, it's all right, but there's none that I'm like, ugh, that movie.
I really like that.
Even
that
his
movie.
Alfie remake.
He was in the Alfie remake.
He was Alfie.
Oh right.
Almost 20 years ago now. Jeez.
Okay, ignore me. Oh wait, no. Secrets of Dumbledore. That's a pretty objectively bad movie. It's kind of unwatchable, honestly. Yeah.
Well, wasn't that ruined for a bunch of outside reasons too?
No, it's just not a good. It's just not a good movie. It's if we want to get into it, we can. It's about an election being stolen.
Oh.
And like, yeah, it already sounds exhausting. Like once I realized that Secrets of Dumbledore was going to be about an election being stolen, I just instantly wanted to tap out. And like the fact that apparently wizards do elections by having like magical deer bow at people that have pure of hearts, and it's just not good. It's just bad. It's just watching it is just not. There's just nothing to enjoy. There's no fun. There's no whimsy. It's just a pointless movie with characters that exist for no reason other than J.K. Rowling seems to like them. Like there's a guy in it from Crimes of Grindelwald named Karma or something like that. I don't know. And he has literally no reason to be here. And like there's a scene in the movie where they're justifying this team that's going to go do the thing in the movie, and you know they list each person's qualifications, and they get to Karma, and it's like, and he's from an incredibly ancient magical family. It's like, if you can't even give me a reason for him to be there, what's the fucking point, man?
I apologize for because somebody like really did a fantastic thesis video about how J.K. Rowling is just kind of a lucky fraud. She's like the Stephanie Meyer of children's books.
I don't know if I go that far, but the shots fired. Okay, respect, yeah.
And like, you know, not to put it on Emily, but she kind of backed it up with how characters were described and named. And all I'll say is the banker type characters in the Harry Potter franchise share my features, and that is very stereotypical of something. And then I was informed of a name of other things, and it I don't know. I mean, I thought me saying what's his cock and what's his tits was pretty bad, but some of these names were, you know, just.
Well, one of the most famous ones, Cho Chang, is two like Korean surnames. Like neither of those, that Cho's not a first name. So she just Googled Korean names and just took the first two that sounded like they went together.
I'm glad you took that grenade, not me, but yes.
No, yes. I mean, that's, no, you're good. I'll always hop on the J.K. Rowling grenades.
And the black character, if you don't mind.
Oh, Kingsley Shacklebolt?
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
What's funny about Kingsley is like in the book, like the name's bad, but like as a character, he's actually portrayed to be pretty cool because like he dresses super snazzy and fancy, and like people like to comment that he looks amazing in a suit and stuff like that. And then in the movies, he wears like an African caftan. So it's like the one black guy is like now wearing this like long flowing like dress, like very traditional cliche, like how it's so frustrating to watch. Anyway, sorry.
No. The third one's got to be fake.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
See,
not real.
that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. Where I'm like, could be.
Yeah.
No, Existence. You're thinking of Nikki. Hi. You're thinking of
Hi, Nikki.
Ethan Hawke. Wasn't Ethan Hawke in Existence?
It's been too long. I can't remember.
Yeah, I only saw that once when it came out. I might be confusing that with Gattaca too, so I'm crazy. Bisexual? Stop it now. Stop it.
Wait, there was something in. Let me see if I can find it.
No, it's Jude Law. All right. He was just not starring. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, the repertoire that I've been privy to, Jude Law has yet to really let me down. And
you
even
remember Repo Man? I really like that
dude,
movie.
I fucking love that movie,
Right?
and it's so relevant now too.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like I don't know what came first, like, you know, in terms of like, you know, ideas, Repo Man or Repo the Genetic Opera. They're
Repo
weirdly similar.
Genetic Opera was first.
It was okay.
But
Okay,
it was a musical.
Okay.
And a bit more hardcore about things.
Yes, also starring Paris Hilton. And and Giles from Buffy. I always forget he's in that movie. I love that guy. Anthony Stewart Head.
Yeah, but I really, really wish a lot more people would watch Repo Man because it, you know, the way healthcare costs keep going up.
Also, just a really good Forrest Whitaker performance too. Right?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since we had really good Forrest Whitaker, or at that point, should I say? Excuse me.
Right. Also just to throw it out there because I'm excited but nervous. There's going to be a Magic the Gathering Netflix series coming up soon. Speaking of, I don't know how you turn a card game into a show. Like Yu-Gi-Oh is a interesting line of comparison, I guess, but no, I don't see that one going anywhere.
Well, they somehow made Pokemon, which was a card game, into live action shit. So,
well, to be fair, like at the time, I remember criticizing it for it. Detective Pikachu right out the gate. We're just going to go with the weird talking Pikachu mystery movie. But actually, that's kind of like a genius way to lead it off in a way, because you have like a thing that you're doing, a mystery. People like mysteries. People like solving mysteries, and you know that kind of anchors the movie in a lot of ways. So yeah, Detective Pikachu is actually the perfect way to start a Pokemon franchise.
Emily wanted to watch the Pokemon experience. I had no experience whatsoever. And we both kind of met in the middle with that movie, where it was like, she wasn't too disappointed. And I was actually quite all right with it. I was pleased. I was like, that was fun. I don't feel like I needed a prequel of sorts or anything. It was just a standalone, silly little yellow coffee drinking
Christopher Maloney.
While I was on streaming stuff, there is the Boston Strangler, which stars Keira Knightley. I believe that is on either Hulu or Amazon Prime. I know it's one of those two.
Cool.
And
Keira.
yeah, it is Zodiac without the brilliant direction.
Who did direct? So it's Zodiac. If it was directed by who? Who would you say?
Oh, me?
Oh, if you directed Zodiac. Oh, okay.
But no, choice. Like you take the Fincher element out of Zodiac, and you put in the women's rights in what, the 60s, 50s, 60s. It was, you know, she was a detective who was assigned, like, you know, shoes. You know, she was assigned typical what to put in your kitchen this Thanksgiving type stereotypical cliche female newspaper article things, but she wanted to do the Boston Strangler, and it just felt so done before. And again, I when they're based on like real things, I kind of I hate making more out of things that like really happen because it makes people copy that shit because they know that they'll live forever.
Yes. Well, that's why like they don't announce the names of a lot of school shooters and stuff like that here in the United States anymore, just to kind of
That and it happens every day. So
oh, yeah, that too. Yeah.
You can't keep track. Can't keep track.
Politics.
Yeah.
I should have a bell to ring whenever we start getting political.
It's hard. It's it's hard to not on
spoilers
anything. But yeah,
but movies are never allowed to be political ever.
In subtext they are. But when everybody's calling it
cowards, no, I'm kidding.
When everybody says that the message is above everything else, it's just like, guys, you're not right. You're fucking not right. And when somebody says that there's no strong men in movies, and we just had Creed 3 and John Wick, and it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, do you even watch movies?
No. I mean, did you see Ant-Man and Quantumania? I know not a lot of people did, but did you? Like, did you see like how manly Jonathan Majors was until he went and did some stuff in real life that we probably shouldn't talk about until there's more information available about, but it's not looking great?
Yeah, that's not like, why is Flash still happening, by the way? Like, what in the literal fuck?
Why are there two or three Ezra Millers in this movie? Like, we don't want one anymore.
Yeah.
Why are you
we should be subtracting him, not multiplying him. or them. I apologize.
Fair, good man. Seeing Michael Shannon back as Zod, though, kind of makes me want to, like, watch a cut of this movie where they just take out the Ezra Miller scenes, just so we can see everyone else doing stuff.
I was like audibly sighing with just disdain, but then Michael Keaton was on screen, and I was like, all right, we'll give it a go around.
Yeah, yeah. And then
you got me, you cynical bastards.
There's shots in the trailer too that look like it might be Christian Bale's Batman. It might not be. Who knows? Like, because Christian Bale just did the Thor: Love and Thunder. Maybe he was burned out and probably didn't want to do it, but like it looked like it might have been. Who knows?
They might have called in a favor or two. I mean,
right?
Because he was interviewed when they redid when Ben Affleck was playing Batman. Christian Bale was like, shit, I didn't, nothing against Ben Affleck's character, but I felt like we could do one more, and it was just like, what? I'm sorry, what?
That's fascinating. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Can you get Mr. Nolan on the phone? Because can we?
Man, so yeah. So
he might have been up for like a 3 or 4 day work.
Okay. So we have Christian Bale, Keaton, Affleck. What are the over under on Pattinson? Is that like any?
I would say that's probably even money.
Right? Like
you're not getting Val Kilmer.
No,
unfortunately.
Yeah. Maybe George like in a passing or reference. Clooney would be crazy, man. Still got the bat nips, but like they're even like bigger and more obvious for something like
that would be fucking awesome. Even if it was just like just him looking to screen, just like, yeah, I'm in this. What's up?
At some point, someone's trying to buy coffee, and then someone puts their hand down on their money so they can't, and hands over a bat credit card. It's George Clooney. Ah.
Oh, is that a fact, Aaron? That is a Gus Van Sant movie about a school shooting.
Oh shit! Okay.
They don't. I mean, I'm fascinated. Speaking of Ezra Miller, we need to talk about Kevin. Another interesting angle on the very same subject. Even though we need to talk about Ezra Miller.
Yeah, I was about to say. I hope one day there's a documentary. We need to talk about Ezra.
Yeah, we need to talk about Ezra. Yeah. Your title's already made.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm intrigued because Run, Hide, Fight, as much as liberals want to go fucking bonkers about it, it wasn't terrible. It was It was
It
as
was
offensive as they them is. It's just there. It really is just there.
the cast really carried that movie. Like a weaker cast, less
Which movie?
Run, Hide, Fight.
Okay.
I thought the lead girl was really good. I wouldn't
I
mind seeing
agree.
her in more stuff. Like she's actually does have some really good action chops. I would really like to see her in some other stuff. Who doesn't love seeing old Punisher? I'm blanking on his name right now.
You want me to get it? Thomas Jane? Wow, I got
Thomas
it.
Jane, thank you. Yeah, hey, good job, dude. Yeah, always loved Thomas Jane. I can't remember the mom's name, who was very brief role. She was great too, and the guy who was doing like a pseudo Joker thing, he was taking over the school. All of them really kicked ass. Yeah,
I don't like the villain, the
you didn't like the
lead villain,
Okay.
who if you're resorting to things like that, you don't have confidence and charisma like that.
That's fair.
That is the one thing where I was like,
That's fair.
no. I mean, if you're gonna follow the Columbine playbook, they were very introverted and thought of themselves as
Very quiet. Very.
The Brandon Lee Crow.
There's also a terrible demonstration of how school shootings go because most of them don't last very long.
Right.
And
you're not holding hostages. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like thought out to the point where it was like cartoonish, like bombs all over the city and in the office and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There was one sequence. I'm personally not a fan of the movie at all, but there was one scene that I really did like, where they're in the balloon, because it's like senior prank day, and so
there's
like
a balloon room.
Yeah, it's only like 10 seconds long, but it's the best scene in the movie because it's like, oh, they're gonna hide in balloons. I've never seen that in a gunfight before. Cool, okay, movie.
But it also explains why the sound of gunshots is somebody's just popping the balloons. Yeah. And again, credit where it's due. It's it's not just fucking guns. The movie. I felt it was fine. For the reaction from anti-Ben Shapiro people, I was like, it's not offensive like that, guys. Sorry. And just like to Ben Shapiro people, they them is not that offensive. It's just there. Can we stop overreacting and just judge fiction on fiction? Please.
Because I'm that weirdo though that's watched all the Daily Wire movies. I need to talk about like the production on some of them just for a second too, because like they want to be the answer to Hollywood and get around the bullshit and like they say they want to get around the creeps and the pedophiles and stuff, but like the production on Daily Wire movies are nightmares. Like for Run, Hide, Fight, they legitimately shot and killed a deer on camera. Like in the opening scene where they're hunting, that's a real deer you're watching.
Well, I mean, you don't want to go woke. Like if you're gonna shoot a deer, you shoot a deer, motherfucker.
Otherwise it's a waste of time.
Plus you save on budget for food. You just
that's true too.
Venison for the crew.
Cast party production of venison. Yeah, okay, maybe.
Catering. But yeah, no, I think they're doing fine because all the Matt Walsh documentaries are. They're not documentaries so much as he's genuinely trying to find answers. Like, what is the age of consent? What is a woman? He's asking because he's genuinely intrigued. Yeah.
No one sits around thinking about the age of consent more than Matt Walsh. Let me tell you, man. No human being in history has pondered as he has.
Yeah.
I think my favorite because just
how is slavery bad? Just make that documentary, you fucking idiot.
I mean, he's days away from doing it. Have you seen some of the quotes from Matt Walsh recently? Like
2 or 3 days ago, he said something about slavery and how better off people are. And I was just like, what the fuck is with this guy? Like he is like seriously got like 15-year-old edgelord energy, like serious edgelord. Just dude. Grow your pubic hair already and stop trying to be so fucking edgy.
And he has no charisma too. I don't get it. Like he's the most boring person to watch talk. Like he's completely monotone, just always just right here. Like, why? How do you enjoy listening to that? Why do you want that sound in your ears? He has the most unbearable voice I've ever heard.
And why is he always filming himself from his car?
That's a really good question too. Like,
Like,
it makes me
is that
think he's like dropping off his kids or picking them up for something as he's talking about 16-year-old girls' ability.
yeah,
to
maybe
get
that's his
consent.
quiet place. Like, I know
Right.
I'm talking about stuff that's really, really bad, so I'll
Mhm.
just go out in the car and talk about it.
And then it gets even weirder. And Bob over here is like calling me a hero for watching these movies. Let me drop this little pearl of wisdom on you guys
Hey,
about the Daily Wire.
I pull in all the Dinesh D'Souza garbage, so
That's true.
you know.
I mean, I've
2000
watched more.
Mules.
I've watched more of Dinesh D'Souza than you have, sir. You don't go there. I've watched.
Did you see these? Did you see 2000 Mules?
I have.
Oh,
I've seen every movie that horrible human being has
infomercials.
made. Yeah.
Infomercials have more tone and just
Fun
awful.
fact about 2000 Mules: those people that he made the movie with.
The executive producers.
Yeah, I think they've been let out, but they were in jail for a bit for refusing to like disclose some of the evidence that they claimed that they had. They rather went to jail.
Well, I mean, if he had opened the movie and said something like, "Hey, we're going to make a movie about, election fraud," I should know because I was in jail for
Halfway house.
Yeah,
Still,
you don't
detention center. Sorry, not a halfway house. It was a detention center. He could do what he wanted during the day, but he had to come back at night.
He needed the president to tell him that he's okay now. Yep. So that
an admission of guilt.
You have to admit guilt, right?
Yeah. So you can't be pardoned if you didn't do it.
Yep. Yeah. So just what's happening? We've gone full politics.
We're completely off the walls at this point. We were talking about Matt Walsh for a fucking second, for fuck's sake.
Well, what is a Matt Walsh?
That is the question of our age. What is a Matt Walsh? Oh, I want to make that documentary now. I just want to walk up to people on the street and just say, like, what is a Matt Walsh?
And you have to edit it so strategically that anybody who's cut a 2-minute YouTube video can tell you, there's context missing. There's like so much context missing.
Mm-hmm.
Just the Mortal Kombat shot, just a wide 2. That's it.
Wide 2.
That's no coverage. Just that's it. I don't. If something gets cut, I want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
The Waco documentary was crazy, and the ATF and FBI fucked up royally.
Is that wrong? I saw the doc, though. I'm curious.
That's so weird. American government screwed something up. I can't foresee that happening ever.
Right? They're perfect. Oh, and Troy McClure. No, different Matt Walsh. The Matt Walsh we are discussing does not have the charisma for the Daily Show, my friend.
No. He looks like if you were to literally ask somebody what a beard is, it would be his image, which is ironic.
Yeah. He's just, I don't know what it is about Matt Walsh that annoys me so much. Like, if I found this clip of them welcoming Candace Owens to the Daily Wire, and it's everyone like Ben Shapiro and all those guys saying little jokes and stuff like that, little bits of advice, and then Matt Walsh is just like, "Stay out of my way," and it's just like,
did he really say that?
Yeah, but like, I get it, it's a joke. Like, hopefully it's a joke, but like. But with his tone and lack of charisma, you could never know. Like, you just have to go by the fact that what he said is an utterly dickish thing to say to another human being. That's your only hint. It's a joke.
Yeah, considering that America's best export at the moment is entertainment, the fact that shit like that is getting out frightens me.
And they're basically YouTubers. He and Ben Shapiro, they have daily uploads. They're basically just YouTube reactionaries. They're basically the Quartering with a bigger budget. Like, it's hilarious.
Well, a way bigger budget. Did you see what they offered Crowder? Like, what the fuck?
And then he turned it down. And then what was that little like war? What happened with
that little infighting thing? Yeah. But yeah, we're exporting that too, which is really, really terrible. Just imagine 30s Germany with the internet. Like, how many people would that strike?
Oh, just in case everyone's not aware about the Crowder thing, the Daily Wire wanted to hire Crowder, and they offered him like $50 million over like 3 years or something like that. And Crowder called that slave wages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 12.5 a year. And
Yeah.
if you got a copyright strike or if you got
in trouble and like the
Yeah.
content he was making couldn't be aired, so that ads couldn't,
they took half back.
and that's fair. If the
Yeah,
content you're
yeah.
making in the Daily Wire's name isn't,
You would think.
why am I defending the Daily Wire right now? But like, if the content you're making isn't helping the Daily Wire but hurting it, why should they pay you? Because like, why, right? Like, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. So movies. There's the Evil Dead
I'm excited for that.
Rises movie.
I'm excited for
That's
that.
not this week. That's what, 2 weeks from now.
I think so. Something about the Evil Dead franchise just hits different. Like, I like the 2013 remake or whatever what that
Fuck
was.
it. When it was raining blood, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Just awesome. If you can get me with visuals, I'll give you a hell of a lot more credit. And that scene with the fucking chainsaw and it's just literally raining blood. Just
and then like just like it like the setup too. It's so easy. It's so simple. She can't leave because she needs to go through withdrawal, and no one thinks that what's happening to her is real because going through withdrawal sucks and makes you do stupid shit. So it's like perfect. It's weirdly perfect.
Right. What do you mean looks meh?
You look meh. No, I don't mean that.
Aaron, what don't you like about it? It's the same character, isn't it? Like, except she's a mom now.
Yeah. Oh, is that the survivor? Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Is it the same character?
I thought it was.
Oh, that's cool.
I've only seen like one short thing where like her character is a mother who's in an elevator. I think that whatever clip I saw was short, and I thought it was her.
I just love that's like taking place in an apartment building or something like that. That's really cool and a great change for the franchise. Like
April 21. All right, so we got 2 weeks. So Mario's just gonna fucking steamroll another week.
Yeah, what comes out this week? I don't even know actually.
Oh, looks like Evil Dead crossed with Exorcist. That's kind of what Evil Dead was, though.
Okay, wait.
Oh, so Renfield. Thank you, Bob.
Oh, Renfield does look fun.
Nicolas Cage as Dracula. I'm worried.
You're worried
because Nicholas Hoult, they have their Nicholas quota.
That's true.
Full. As Renfield, I don't know. Because Nicolas Cage, if he's not reserved, he's too hammy, and like it's such a thin, fine line. Where if you watch the original Dracula, Renfield is kind of just hammy. Like if you're gonna make a Renfield movie, give Nicolas Cage the part and just let him fucking face off his ass off out there and just go ahead. Do Nicolas Cage things.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Also, funnily enough, did you know that the Pope's Exorcist is coming out that week too? So we're gonna get the bad looking possession movie followed by the good looking possession movie.
Yeah, Possession of the Pope or something like that.
Pope's Exorcist. That's but which I'm disappointed because that sounds like they're going to be exorcising the Pope, but I guess they're not. So false advertising.
It's just him running, exercising.
There you go.
I've seen it. It's damn funny and goreful. Is that Renfield we're referring? I want Hammy Cage, honestly. Yeah, as Dracula, though, I wouldn't mind him as Renfield. But as Dracula, because Dracula is supposed to be more reserved. I only saw Blade for the first time last night.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know you can have vampire movies that aren't Twilight that don't need to be so focused on the lust and the creatures of the night aspect of it. And Blade still had a really good scene that implied quite a bit without showing you nudity, even though I think there was nudity in that movie. But
I think so, yeah.
In the third act, when Blade and the female lead, what the fuck happened to her?
That's a very good question, actually. Because I know the director only directed one more movie and then retired.
Retired.
Yeah, well, the next movie he made was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
kill your career.
Yeah, it was just such a miserable experience. He didn't want to do it anymore.
That's Sean Connery's last too, huh?
Yeah.
No wonder why they're like, yeah, you get out.
Yeah.
you killed one career. I remember when you and Emily did the Twilight Marathon, you fell asleep 30 minutes into the second one. Was it that late?
So the chick from Blade didn't really do much actually after Blade.
Is
Like,
she alive? Is she in good shape? Like,
I'm worried I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Nabush Wright?
Still around? No unfortunate reasons that they're not acting?
No, she's 52. Yeah, she's still alive.
That's unfortunate. Because I know that there's other Blade movies, but apparently she's not in them.
Nope. And honestly, I know this is a controversial opinion. I don't like Blade 2 very much. I know Del Toro directed it.
I've been told that that's the best one.
I think the first one's the best one.
CGI in that third act, though.
Oh yeah, no, you're right, and it's not going to get much better though. If anything, it's going to get worse. But there's a lot of cool visuals and some really fun sequences and scenes in Blade 2. But it's one of those movies that I feel like the rules for how the bad vampires work change depending on what's dramatic in the moment, and that really takes me out of the movie. Also, there's a spoiler I don't really want to get into, but there's a cardinal sin that I hate movies committing, and it commits it in the first 5 minutes. And it's just like,
I can't wait then.
Good luck. Again, it's Del Toro. Maybe you'll like it. But I'm also not crazy about the Hellboy movies. I don't know. I love it. I have a weird relationship.
I'm with you. Pan's Labyrinth is probably the only Del Toro movie that I'm like, okay.
Lady Fucks the Fishman.
Nope.
Oh, you never saw it?
Nope.
I actually really like that one a lot. Those two are kind of my go-to Del Toro movies that I really like. But I've watched a lot of movies with just because Del Toro's name on it that I ended up hating. Like Don't Be Afraid of the Dark or Mama. And just because he just produced it.
Well, they do the Jordan Peele thing where it's just like, oh, Jordan Peele made Candyman. No, he produced it. Stop doing that fucking marketing.
Mm-hmm.
For a very fun, unconventional vampire film, may I recommend the Russian film Night Watch, and to a lesser extent, the sequel Day Watch. Listen, I'm going to be watching 31 vampire and werewolf movies before the end of May. So hold on that recommendation, please. Thank you.
Cool. No, I've actually always wanted to watch Day Watch or Night Watch, one of the two, because the trailers for those movies are insane. I really want to see them.
I finished editing and clicked on to immediately be met with She Fucks a Fishman. Dude, you didn't see the post-credit scene in Mario? So yeah, sorry.
No, welcome back.
Shape of Water is a certified classic. Give it a chance. I just did he direct the first kaiju movie, or was he just a producer?
Yes, he directed that.
Yeah, that's one I enjoyed. And yes, Aaron, producers are overrated. They are timekeepers. Mm-hmm. They are budget balancers more often than not.
Yeah.
Producer is, they may tell you, listen, we only have this for this amount of time, unless of course you're making Poltergeist, then producers are very overrated.
It's funny too. Like, I love that you bring up Pacific Rim, because that's another one I really don't like. Like,
really,
I don't care about any of the characters in that movie at all, and it makes.
I didn't say that. Yeah. I just
okay.
I also like Shin Godzilla, which is.
Oh, I need to see that.
That's fun.
Yeah,
he's so derpy in the beginning.
That's part of the reason I want to see it. Also, the director of it, Hideaki Anno, is kind of legendary in anime scenes and has made some of the most influential animes ever. So I want to see what he does with Godzilla, like badly. I'm just a bad person who hasn't gotten around to it yet.
Kronos and Devil's Backbone are both great.
I thought those are good.
All right. My palate is stacked, so I appreciate it. But June 1st, you could start again. And also, I don't know if you could tell, but packing happening.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing something.
Mm-hmm. Might be in a different time code. All of this stuff within the calendar year.
So you got a lot going on.
Yeah. There's
Sorry,
hope
man.
yet. No reason to be sorry. It's actually it's hopeful for the first time in a bit.
That's sick then. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah. As long as they don't fucking lose all this shit. England, you assholes.
It's the land of assholes. We all know it.
No, just the airports.
I'll learn one day.
For the last fucking time, you're not living in my studio. Listen, then put my bed away. Am I going to be British now? No, I'm not going to be British. Trust me, that nation as a whole has done their best to keep me out.
Have they made
right.
it illegal yet?
Yeah, they probably put it in their version of the Constitution that no Charles Pattersons can. They already stabbed the air match. and no, not Heathrow. But Gatwick was just as bad. I mean, there's a lot of airports in fucking London, but this is funnier to the Brits than it is to Americans. But Gitwank is my name for Gatwick, and well, wank. You know what wank is? That's stroking it. But git is like a term for a jerk or an idiot over there. So Gitwank makes them laugh over there. I have patches. Did you throw out the straps and whips? All right, we're completely just on air. What do you got? What help?
ABC. It's easy as 1, 2, 3.
I am crying urine, Lindsay, for the love of God.
Crying urine.
Yeah, my legs are crossed and it's not doing me any good.
Okay, for sure. Sorry. I thought you were being metaphorical.
No,
I
wasn't.
My singing
no,
was.
I wasn't.
Yeah.
No, they won't.
And Wano makes another return. Okay, so I am Lindsay of My 2 Cents of Nonsense. I'm going on a little family trip here this week, but I'm going to try to get a video out for the 2-year anniversary of me making a video that broke 1 million views. I'm going to make a little joke video about that. That should be coming out in the next day or so. Otherwise, always got something fun planning. We'll see if I get it going here or not.
Yeah, and we might. Again, you're in the middle of something. I am balls deep in the middle of something. Everything will be dictated by circumstance, but I'm intrigued with both Renfield and Evil Dead. Maybe if everything permitting, we will be back for the Monday or Tuesday or something following the release of Evil Dead.
That's the 21st it comes out, right? That's what we decided?
Yeah, so maybe the 24th or 25th, I guess the Monday or Tuesday would be.
I will be back for that, so perfect. Okay.
Yeah, I don't... there's a very... well, I can't give details about my situation. Yeah, it could... Yeah, I could be without a lot of furniture by then. Okay. So yeah, so of course I have this giant event video that I've been waiting years for to watch movies for and shoot, edit, and produce by May 31st, right in the middle of
Right.
the biggest move of my life in about
I keep telling you, you
a
don't need to do
decade.
your Debbie Does Dallas retrospective yet. You can wait. Just push it back a little bit. It'll be okay.
I'm gonna be an adult again. Oh, I can't wait to just be
excited
an
for you, man.
adult again. All
Oh,
right.
yeah,
But yeah, we'll check out Lindsay. His we added him on the shit, the thing.
yay.
But keep an eye out. Cody says, I smell a text at 7 p.m. May 30th with a sad face emoji. Dude, I've been trying. Like if I have 31, I can get it done now. I have 20. No pressure. I've been doing whatever I could. And if as long as our 31 is the original 31 and we don't watch one and then say, oh, actually this doesn't work, so we're going to have to do another one.
Oh,
Brian. Yeah, we as a group have decided that we're going to do 67
Ooh.
instead. No.
That's not to say. Intrigue.
All right, I'm going to pee. There's no other reason but that. Thank you so much for the super chats and the channel subscription, Nixie. Nikki. Yeah, my tongue. See, it's getting up to my mouth. I gotta let it out.